All right, what's going on, guys? Day 5 of the bow reviews. I'm pumped. Back to my own brand, what I've been shooting for the last couple years, what I've had good results with, but I am not biased. I can tell you that for sure. This will not be the top scoring bow on my list so far. I do like it, but it's not my top. So, with that being said, yes, I have shot Hoyt for the last couple of years. Please don't think that I'm biased to any brand. I'm not sponsored by any brand. The guys up here at Grafton allow me to shoot whatever bow I want, whatever brand I want. It doesn't matter. So far, I've leaned more towards Hoyt, mainly because of their draw cycle and how they shoot. But with that being said, today's video is going to be all about the new Hoyt VTM 31. All right, guys, so let's talk about some specs on this bow. So, VTM 31, you would think that means 31 inches axle to axle. It's actually 30 5/8 according to Hoyt. 6-inch brace height. Bow weight by Hoyt, 4.6 pounds. What I actually got by holding it on the scale is 5.2. It does have a whisker biscuit, and it does have the little bottom stabilizer attached. I don't know if maybe they weigh it without that. I don't think so, but they might. Draw weight, it comes in 10-pound increments from 30 to 80 pounds. So if you're a guy like me with a really short draw length, or if you're a tall guy that just wants to shoot extra weight, it does come in up to 80-pound limbs. Speeds are rated at 342, draw length 25 to 30. So if you're a shorter draw kind of person, there is an option for you. It's going to be the HBX Pro Cams that's been on the last couple years of bows. That didn't change. There's a let-off adjustment on the bow of 80 to 85 pounds, or I'm sorry, 80 to 85%. And then it's going to come in up to 13 different colors, and you can customize it through Hoyt. If you wanted to go to a solid riser, camo limbs, you can change that stuff around, and if I'm not mistaken, it's either $50 or $100 upcharge. But that's completely up to you. So that's what we got on specs. So a couple things on this bow. It does have some pretty cool little features that's different from last year's bows. Like I said, it's still got the HBX Pro Cams. That's not going to be different. This is a new colorway called Bourbon. A lot of people are really liking this color. It's not my favorite personally, but it is a really good looking color for sure. Anyway, couple of features on this bow. Most of the changes are going to be in the riser. Several new cutouts and stuff in the riser. You're going to have the Picatinny mount on the front for your Picatinny style sights, which is like what I currently use. I use a black gold Picatinny sight on my bow from last year. You also have a dovetail mount on the back, so your integrated style rests will mount to the back of this riser. And then right here on the, I don't even know what you want to call this, the side brace that Hoyt has on all their bows. I don't remember, they have a name for it, but I don't remember, it's like a bridge or something anyway. They have a cutout here for your rest cord to go through. So if you're shooting a cable driven rest, you can actually put your cord right through there so you don't have any kind of friction on the side of your riser there. That's a really cool addition. On the bottom, you've got your bottom stabilizer mounting hole, which is where your little short stabilizer is. This thing actually comes in really handy. Even if you wanted to shoot a longer stabilizer than this little thing, it just kicks your stabilizer, your bottom stabilizer out so far, it makes it seem like a lot longer stabilizer. You do also have your upper stabilizer hole. And then on this one, you don't have a back hole to mount a stabilizer, but what you do have is a machine cutout on the riser itself. On either side, you got it cut out, but this bow being right-handed, it's designed to put your sidebar mount or your back bar mount on the side here, and it just mounts straight to it. It's a really clean looking finish. Anyway, let's go ahead and shoot this bow a few times and go from there. I'll let you watch it, listen to it, see me draw it, and we'll see what we think. I really like this this axle to axle length of a bow. Right there. But I don't know if you could hear that or not. Let it down a little bit too hard. I don't know if you can hear it or not. There's no tink on the back end of this draw cycle. It's quiet. That's one thing that I hate about some of the other bow brands. They just have that tink when it rolls over. And I've had deer look up at me when I've been drawing bows that had that. I don't like that. So it's got a really good back wall, really stiff, not much sponge to it. Bow balances well in my hand. It does have a little bit of vibration on the shot, very little, and it dissipates really quick. Draw back again. Smooth draw. That's one thing about these Hoyts. I like their draw cycle, but it's all personal preference. One thing about this bow, it is quiet compared to some bows. It's louder compared to the Matthews. It's not quite as quiet as those. So as far as quietness, it's really hard to beat the Matthews bows, but this bow here, I really like the way it draws. That's the main thing I like about the Hoyts, is their draw cycle. So I'm gonna draw it back. A little bit of a drop off right there. Now I'm gonna let it down. It's got a good valley. Right there. It has a really good valley. Draw it back, let it down. It doesn't want to rip your shoulder off when it comes down. Draw it back. And I'm just going to shoot it a couple times. The bow balances out really well in my hand. It's not quite as steady as some of the other bows that I've shot, but it does balance out well. Last shot. All right, so with the Hoyt VTM 31, let's talk about some speeds. So some speeds on this bow. What I got with my different arrow setups that I tried with all these bows. Once again, 70 pounds on the dot, 27-inch draw, 350 grain arrow. At 27-inch draw, I got 297. At 28.5, I got 303. At 30 inches, I got 331. Pretty quick. It's a very fast shooting bow. Once again, we're slower than what it's rated at. It's rated at 342. I did not see that. One thing with the Hoyts, it does have the adjustable let-off. I don't even know what you want to call it. It's like a little tier, a little tab on the end of your mod. It's just a screw adjusted on top and bottom. Even at 80%, that's what I shoot my bow at. Even at 80%, 80 versus 85, no speed difference, which kind of makes sense because all you're doing is just slightly shortening your draw length in order to make that less let off. It's just not allowing the cam to rotate quite as far. So that didn't change the speed at all on any of these Hoyts. It comes available in, I'm sorry, I ain't even talking about colors right now. I got off topic. Anyway, 80 to 85% let off, didn't seem to matter on the speeds. So 425 grain arrow, 27-inch draw, 273, 28.5-inch draw, I got 279, and 30-inch draw, I got 303. 513 grain arrow towards your heavier side, 27-inch draw, 241, 28.5-inch draw, 255, and 30-inch draw, 279. So it's definitely a little bit quicker bow. I think it was like the second or third fastest bow in this, all the bows that I shot so far. So let's go ahead and go through my scoring system and how I scored this bow. Shootability, I gave it a 6. Tunability, I gave it a 5. Draw cycle, I gave it a 7. Back wall, I gave a 7. Balance, I gave a 7. Weight, I gave it a 6. It's a little bit heavier. Speed, I gave it a, what did I give it? 776. I gave it an 8, which makes sense. It was the top, one of the top bows. And then for noise, I gave it a 6. Wasn't quite as quiet as the Matthews bows, but it's still a quieter bow. For vibration, I gave it a 6. It had a little bit of vibration in the shot. And then for fit and finish, I gave it a 9. So that's going to give us a total of 67. For price, I gave it a 6. It's on par with the rest of the bows in this class. So I gave it a total score of 73 points. All right, so for shootability, I gave it a 6. It's just under 31 inches axle to axle with a 6-inch brace height. So it's not going to be the most shootable platform out there, but it will shoot great. It balanced well in my hands. I think it's roughly a 6. It's better than average, but not on the extreme side. Tunability, I'm giving it a 5. Hoyt doesn't give anything on this bow as far as adjustments at your limb pockets or at your axles or anything like that. It's literally the only adjustments you can make are the bushings that go in between the cams. You can shim your cams one way or the other depending on how your bow is tearing. But with that being said, overall Hoyts have not been hard to tune the last couple years. So like I said, for tunability, I give it a 5. I will say, hands down, out of all the bows that we have here at the shop, the Hoyts are my favorite system for adjusting your draw length and your let off. It's literally 2 mods. You have a 2 base mod and a 3 base mod. Cam stays the same. Your mod is on a track. Hopefully you can see. Your mod is on a track. So you literally just loosen your screws and adjust your mod. Your 3 base mod is going to come in your longer draw lengths. Your 2 base mod is going to come in your shorter draw lengths. And one thing that Hoyt does that I don't know why nobody else does that of the bows that we have in the shop, but they have an actual little chart right here that shows what your draw length range is and what mod position you need to have it in to attain your draw length. There's no separate stop adjustments. I really like that. One thing to keep in mind, guys, that tunability score is low, but it's what I prefer. So of the bows that are here, the Matthews and the Hoyts, they don't have a lot of tunability options. With that being said, they're so simple that when you're in the backcountry, you don't have to worry about stuff coming loose. And that is, to me, that's way more important than just that number on tunability. So keep that in mind. I like a simple bow in the backcountry. If you're just tree stand hunting, you're right down the road from the house, it's probably not as critical. But I've had so much stuff come loose on me in the backcountry. The fewer screws that I have and the fewer moving parts that I have, I really appreciate that. And Hoyt keeps their bows simple. And I do like that. So that's a crappy number on tunability. For both Hoyt and Matthews, they got a low number on tunability. But for what they are, it's what I appreciate about them. All right, so draw cycle. I gave this bow a 7. It's got a smooth draw. Not the smoothest draw, but it's definitely a smooth draw. It doesn't have that big drop off on the back. It's a little bit easier to let down. For back wall, I gave this bow a 7. It had a really good valley. The back wall was really good, really stiff, had slight sponge to it, not much. I like the back wall. Balance. This bow balanced well in my hand. It didn't want to sit one way or another. It didn't want to drop forward, drop back. It just kind of set well in my hand. So I gave it a 7. Wasn't the best, but it's above average in my opinion. Weight. This bow's a little heavier. You can kind of feel the heft to it in your hand. I gave this bow a 6 because I think once everything's set up on this bow, if I were to shoot this bow with the integrated system and the pick tinny mount sight, I could hug that quiver so tight to the bow, I don't think I would need additional stabilizers. One thing about Hoyt, my Hoyt from last year, I never even shot an additional stabilizer. It balanced out with just this small, tiny stabilizer on the bottom. That all adds to weight. So I gave this bow a 6. Speed, I gave this bow an 8, top 2 or 3 of the bows that I shot. Noise, it is a little bit louder than the Matthews, not as loud as some of the other bows. I gave this bow a 6, kind of middle of the road. Vibration, I gave this bow a 6. It was kind of in between a 6 and a 7. It had slight vibration in the hand, not too much, but it was enough that it was noticeable. Fit and finish, I give this bow a 9. It's not, Hoyt is very durable on their bows, but they've had issues in the past with a little bit of finish, chipping and stuff like that. This bow, I like the textured finish to it. The colored versions of their bows, the way they're painted or cerakoted or whatever, however their finish is, powder coated, they are very durable. The fit and finish not quite as nice in my opinion as the Matthews, but fit and finish we're giving it a 9 for a total score of 67. Bonus of 6 for price, middle of the road. It's on par with the other bows in this class for a total score of 73 points, just behind what we scored the last bow. Like I said, guys, all this stuff is very opinionated. This is just my opinion on this bow. Very nice bow. It's a very nice hunting bow. It would be in my top few of bows if I was going to buy a new bow this year. It would be in my top 5 for sure. So one last thing, the grips. I really like the Hoyt grips. Other people hate the Hoyt grips. That is very personal. That's why I didn't really mention a whole lot about it, but I really like the way Hoyt's grips are on these bows for the last 2 years now. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. Once again, please comment down below. Let me know that you like what's going on, or let me know if you don't like what's going on. Let me know if I need to change something or add something to it. Trying to bring y'all a lot of good content, really putting a lot of time into these reviews. I know that y'all look forward to these every year, and I'm sorry that it's so late on these things. But once again, guys, if you have any archery related questions, if you want to see something different on the channel, don't hesitate to comment down below. Please like and subscribe on the channel. If you have any questions that the guys up here at Grafton could answer, give them a call at 704-855-1300. They'll be more than happy to help you over the phone. So thanks for watching, guys. Once again, remember to live your life to the fullest and use your passions to bless others. We'll catch you on the next one.